And go!
Go, welcome everybody. It's the triumvirate with the emphasis
That's
on
right.
the
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's where the
My face.
Schwarmeret.
Oh.
Yes, the market is swarming up, everybody. And we get your shawarmas ready. Yeah, well, we can't have the market swarming up without your shawarmas. What are you guys? A chicken,
Yeah,
a lamb? What are you? Beef? What kind of shawarma?
I
What
figured,
kind of shawarma guy are you?
After this epic battle that we had the first quarter of this year with the market, and then now we're finally, we kind of beat all the bears back, and we're in bull mode. It's like, I'm tired. Let's have some shawarma. And yeah, I like lamb. Lamb shawarma is my favorite. Lamb,
yeah, that's good.
Lamb and beef.
Yeah. Yeah,
I like mystery. I like mystery meat. Just give me whatever.
Whatever's on that rotating thing, you have no idea what it is, but it's delicious.
Yeah. I know
whatever they found in the alley the night before and brined it up and juiced it up, rotated on that spit.
The more spit.
Well, anyway, hello everybody. Matt is giving me a little bit of screen time here at the front of the show, and I just want to I wanted to share it with Kat. This cool thing that I've been figuring out with the fibs. I don't know if it's a new thing. I don't know if it's revolutionary. It's revolutionary to me. Maybe lots of people do this. Maybe nobody's ever done it before. But basically, the whole idea is it goes back to this Bitcoin chart here that I was working on real hard with everybody. Let's see. Well, this was a short term thing. I kind of messed up my chart. But let's just say, let's do the log track. So I've been advertising this thing, as the tracker scale. Let's see. Let's get this big and like this. And oh wait, my function keys are locked. No. There we go. And all right, let's make it bigger. Log scale. So maybe, not 8 hours isn't going to cut it. Let's go to a weekly chart. Here we go. This is it. This is my master Bitcoin chart, which I've kind of adjusted today. Just delete it. It's not that important. I can redraw it anytime I want. Hide this. And then we'll go back and hide this. So basically all I did was I just said, well, look, here's all the price action of, this is a log scale chart, mind you, of Bitcoin back from when Bitstamp has the most history on Bitcoin. Look at it. It goes back to when it was $2 low before it went up to like $7 and then dropped back to like $5 and wicked up to 17 and then kind of settled on $10. And what I did was I said, well, let's see, is this how we did it? Yeah. From here to here, we'll just call it from two. No, actually, you know what I did? I did it based off of this one. Where did I do it based off of? It all started with the $12,000 level that we hit. This was right here. Anyway, it led me into this, and I guess this is what I end up with. So basically, this is the exciting thing. So if you go 0 to 1 and this is like your wave 1, then everything builds on after that. So I just basically said, so this is 100%, and then this was the 141. Here's the 1618. Oh, what have I done? You know what? I'm sorry. I am messing up. I need to start with this one. No. Gosh darn it. I should have practiced it beforehand. I'm sorry, guys. But basically, the cool idea is that if you know, all I did was I just assumed, let me hide this again, and this, no. If you just assume that you know that Bitcoin is going to $1 million, like I did here with this chart, I said, it's going to, and so from $2 to $1 million, let's just call it from 0 to 1, right? And then where is that fib? No. Gosh darn it, where'd I put it? Well, I'll just do it here for you. So you just take a fib, and you say from here, from $2, and then you go to 100% is a million. So there's about a million right there. All right. Now you go to linear scale,
Mm-hmm.
and you can read all these fibs, and you say, oh look. So now from the 1111 it was 112,000. What did we just hit? 112,000. That was just Bitcoin going to my 1111 fib. I used to call this 11.4, but I did some research with Super Grok, and we came up with 1111. And then now the cool thing is every single one of these fibs, you can just subdivide it like it's a meter stick. And there's like 10 centimeters in a meter stick. So here's the centimeters from here to here. So this is everything's going to happen from here on to 238,000. Right. So this might go 238,000 might be the next stage of evolution for Bitcoin. And then here's everything we're going to hit. We'll get stuck under the 127,000 and it throws it back. Then it tries to get 142,000. We get up to 175,900. It gets rejected, maybe the 236 or the 292. Then it tries to get a little higher, maybe to the 7071. And it gets thrown and if it can't get up over the 786 the first time, it gets thrown all the way back to the 1111 again. I've seen this pattern so many times now. And then it fights with the 50% fib at 175,900 for a while, finally gets support at either the 382 or the 236, then makes it up past the 786 to 889, up to the 100%. Then we get to do the 141 and test back to maybe 168 gets rejected first time, sends it back down to the 50%. Anyway, this is what I don't know, Kat, have you ever done this where you say, okay, this is where my target is. Here's the fibs from here. Now I'm going to subdivide the fibs.
No, I have not. I think that's a pretty cool idea.
It's not just a cool idea. It works. I've tested it. I've been testing all over the place. So I was just showing you that. Gosh, I have to hit the function key every time now. Sorry, I switched keyboards and I didn't realize it was going to be like this. Like this SBET chart here. And you can do it with it doesn't have to be perfect fibs. You don't have to do it between you can do it between any two fibs. Like say, let's look at this price action right here. I'm going to just, I'll delete this for you now. And let's say I think it's going to go to the 0 right here. I set this as 0. And to the 2 is 100%. And so now these are all the fibs on this journey between here and up here. And look what it did. Let's see. Let's get my little handy dandy thing. I've been using this tool a lot now, the path tool. It goes up to the 236 is right about here. It really goes to the 2929 right there. Gets kicked back down. Not quite to the well, this candle does go into 2929. I should have made a candle. Goes to 382, gets to the 50% level, gets rejected 1, 2, 3 times by the 50% level. Actually, gets rejected once, sends it back down to the 2929. Goes back to the 50% again, gets rejected. This time the 382 holds the support, so we can get past the 50%. And up to the 618 was resistance at first. It kind of tests back a little bit. But now we're at resistance at the 707. And so next is, if it gets rejected at the 786, it might come back down 28 maybe. But it kind of feels like it already did that. So I'd love to see it just do like the 888 and then back to, I have to round it down to 8889. Comes back, we can get to the 100%. And maybe it overshoots a little bit. Comes back to 889. And then after that, I just say, well, it's the 141 after that. So there you go. So this is, and I've been doing this like all over the place with charts, and it works amazingly well. So there you go. I just subdivided the journey that I felt it was going to take, and look, here's all the proof that it is taking that journey. So there you go. Back to you guys. Well, how about your reaction, Cat?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just show the fit levels. They work out really well for you. Just right there, like especially the 0.5.
There's no reaction. Nobody can hear me. I have another sip of my drink.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Tracker. Yeah.
Did I mute myself?
I hear somebody stirring a drink. I mean, that's I
mean, he's
the,
drinking his margarita.
Hear me, but nobody. I can't
shawarma.
Hear
well, we can hear you.
TBTV says Tracker's a cool guy, but he's definitely among the most verbose charters. I do have a very active mind. Let's see. I'm just going to fill up the space.
Tracker.
I can't hear the other guy.
You're a sexy babe, Tracker. I love Tracker. I love me some Tracker. Tracker is the biggest guy I ever met. He's like freaking awesome. I love him.
I think Tracker can't hear us, so I had to mute him because he's not hearing anything I'm saying. Tracker, if you can hear us, get your mic fixed right now, or else. Can you hear us now, Tracker? I unmuted you.
Houses. And I don't do this.
No,
much,
you can't hear us.
I started experimenting with it, and I was able to figure out a lovely
Tracker
Fibonacci, and it's really attuned to the.
He's got to get us. I'm going to type him in the chat. Okay.
Solo show. He's going to have his own.
Anyways, so let's just continue on to essentially, let's go take a look at Bitcoin, guys, shall we? How is Bitcoin doing? And I'm going to switch his screen. Don't worry, Kat. Don't you worry.
But I'm missing so much verbal information right here.
All right, so this is an epic fail right now. What's going on, Tracker? Anyways, so Bitcoin, what is it doing? It's basically breaking out, and it already did a back test of the ARC here. So this is looking really good, right? It's looking really, really, really good for a breakout back test. And I think what we're seeing now, especially with Ethereum here, I can just type in Ethereum and we can see what I think what Kat was mentioning earlier, how it's getting close to the weekly Ichimoku cloud here. And the weekly Ichimoku cloud is basically here. It arrived. Look at that, Cat. It arrived. That's pretty dang amazing.
Yeah.
This is
push through, or you think it's going to push through here on the first time?
I don't think it. I think it can just if it doesn't pierce through the first time, I think they're just wait a couple of weeks and it'll just gradually go sideways through the cloud and then higher no matter what. So I think it's looking beautiful, but this is kind of showing outperformance now with altcoins. Really, if we just even do the Bitcoin to the Ethereum chart here, we can kind of see what's really going on with Bitcoin compared to Ethereum, and it's going lower, right? It's breaking down. It's actually making a lower low for the first time in a while. And it's right at an important fib here, but this is log scale, so I don't think we really need to do log scale. But it is that 382 right there, so that's interesting. If we just did linear scale, there's no fibs right there, but this is breaking lower for the first time in a while. If this does actually start to close the week lower, I think that would be his first lower low in a very long time, which could mean maybe the peak of Bitcoin dominance is there. What say you, Kat?
I say I see a big change of character in Ethereum, and I think that really is setting up the stage for Bitcoin dominance to drop. The only issue, like right now, this is Bitcoin dominance. No, sorry, Ethereum dominance, which sounds like a joke, but it's not. It's at about 10.3%. It just basically means that Ethereum is 10.3% of the market cap, and currently, it looks very strong right now on this weekly candle. It looks like it's forming a little bit of a Marubazu kind of candle without any wick here at all. So generally, these things favor further bullish continuation. I mean, we still haven't really closed the weekly candle yet, but it currently looks like there's no wick, and Ethereum just doesn't really want to stop with its dominance. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. And if you're also looking at this chart that I've been looking for a very long time, I usually like to do a 2-week here with this really angry faces that basically tells you that the previous 2 cycles, you've got this kind of breakdown here against this trend line. And here it's been maybe about like 2 or 3 months down here. Here it's just spent maybe like a few weeks. Here we've been spending about 3 months down here now. It looked like we might be in the process of breaking back above the trend line and going up a lot higher. And it looks like this is just like the liquidity that we needed. It looks like this is like the cup and handle that we needed to form before we punch through. We still have another, I would say, 5-6 days or so before this candle is closed. But currently it looks like it wants to, break through. It looks pretty nice. And if we don't end up breaking through again and we're getting rejected here, I think the next, couple of weeks is going to be the push through to go up, because I do think that the momentum is there. And it looks like it's ready. I mean, if it's not ready now, it's probably gonna be ready in the next couple of weeks. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And Tracker's back. What happened to your mic or your headphones, Tracker?
I'm back. So, stupid thing. Of course, I decided just before the show to swap out my keyboards with the cool, like, glow-in-the-dark one. But the function, you have to, like, hit, like, hold down the function key to get these different things. Anyway, I muted myself. That was the
No, but you didn't mute yourself.
Or, I mean, I muted. I didn't mute myself. I turned off my speaker.
You muted us.
That's it. I muted my
You
speaker.
muted the rest of us. That's what you
I couldn't hear you guys.
You're like, screw you guys. I'm going to have my own show without you.
Yeah, I was.
I'm gonna have my own show. I'll just keep talking.
I was telling the world how sexy you are and how I want to rub over you, and then like nothing, just nothing.
Oh my god! Yeah, I could not hear any of that.
Nothing.
I love Angel GDS saying, "Tracker, you are the best live without a net." Anyway, well, what did you think? What do you think of that whole idea? You can.
I think you illustrated that
subdivide.
I think you illustrated that with the price action of SBET very, very nicely. I mean, it was hitting your fit levels perfectly. Yeah. So it's interesting. It's very interesting.
So cool. You could do it. You can do it across two levels. Basically, I guess the thing is that Fibonacci retracements are fractal, so you can kind of use them anywhere, and they're going to keep working everywhere you go. But I thought it was especially cool that you could just subdivide like a large swath of zone, and then just like subdivide it smaller, so you can see the action that's going to happen in between places that it's going to go. Anyway, so I can just get this great granular view. I can zoom it out, zoom it in. It's fantastic.
I think it's good for like lower time frame trading, like the stuff that you do. You can illustrate that extremely well. So I can totally see that.
But no, I'm sorry. I missed one thing, which is that you can do it the other way. Like if you have between 0 and 1, I'm sorry. Do your chart, and then I'll show you when it's my turn. I'll show you.
Okay.
You're already up, Mascaccio, with your thing.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. Thank you for showing that. Now, the only other thing I wanted to show really is just like Ethereum. The Bollinger Band continues to squeeze here on the monthly. Even on 2 month, it's been kind of squeezing tough. And I've actually seen Ethereum's history ever since like 2015. I never really seen like a Bollinger Band squeeze here in 2 months. It's like the first time there's ever really done that. So it's just kind of interesting to I wonder what that means. I don't know. It's just kind of does it mean like a bigger move is going to come, bigger than we like ever thought that it would be, or like I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think the whole total crypto market cap.
The tighter the colon, the more the.
You said the tighter the colon. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
Well, somebody did talk about butt stuff in the chat, I think we're right on the. Vivian did, yes. So we're there, yeah.
This is the quality entertainment that you guys come here to listen to.
I can smell it
when we talk about sphincters.
I can smell it. All right, let's get me the hell out of this chart here. Now somebody else show something else.
Yeah, I just wanted to show. I think it's ready. I think this is the total crypto market cap. I think it's ready. Like it reclaimed this angle as a support, right? After all this time, it was a support here, big liquidity grab below, and now we're back above. So this is really indicating that I think we're going to break total into all-time highs, and I think it's probably going to go up to the green level sooner than later, and that's around 5 trillion. So that's a good move from current prices. So I think, judging by Ethereum, judging by altcoin action, I think things are looking ready to continue the journey higher. So that's just more confluence with what Ethereum is doing, in my opinion. And we can even put on the fibs here as well and see that if it doesn't make it to the green level right away, the 1.272 is right there at 4.43 trillion. So yeah, total is looking good and no complaints at all. But yeah, Tracker, if you wanted to finish your thoughts on your screen, go ahead. Oh God.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Him.
So what I want what did I say? What did I do?
Nothing. I thought you muted yourself. Unless it's just you have a 10-second delay again. I don't know.
Oh no,
but yeah.
Oh no, I did mute myself and I unmuted myself, but I'm you can hear me now. 3, 2. Okay, show my screen. Show my screen.
I tried to, but I don't think you shared it.
You're not sharing mine, but
yeah, there we go.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, Eric. So I just want to point out that when Matt was showing this beach, and when he says like, "Oh, it's going down," he doesn't mean, you know, in case you guys knew, you're riding Bitcoin by Ethereum. So when Bitcoin's up, then Bitcoin is outperforming, and then when this is going down, then Ethereum is outperforming. And so what they're just saying is that Ethereum looks like it's poised to do better than Bitcoin for a little bit here. But anyway, that aside, I just want to show you another thing you can do with the chart is you can go the other direction. So let's take this low from that high happened afterwards. So we'll do this high, and then we'll just send this all the way to the right. But you could say, what if all this price action that has happened from here to here is just the beginning, and you can say, okay, let's assume that is simply the 114, and it's just, well, you can take this, grab this, and you can line. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, these are. Let's just go back to linear scale. All right, so I can assume that we can say that. Well, let's assume that is just merely the 11.4 fib, and so you just you go for the same bottom, and you just pull this up, and you pull it up more. Let's move this one on the left side. I think you get what I'm saying.
You sound like you're trying to give it.
So you grab this until this 11%. Let me go back to the log scale, so I don't have to pull it so far. I know. So you just pull this until the 11.4 is right. I moved it. It's right there. It's right there at the top. Man. So now, you go back to linear scale. I know, right? So now you can see all this is just the 11.4% fib, and I kind of didn't quite get it perfect on the scale, but you get this perfect, and then now this is the next zone that it would go to. So if Bitcoin, just nobody wanted Ethereum anymore, and it went zero, and then Bitcoin just kept going up, that's going to happen. But this is how I made this chart for Bitcoin. I said, I want to get to $1 million. And then so I said, well, what if all this action that we got to 112,000 was simply the 1111? Anyway, I love this chart. I want to marry this chart that I made, because not only does it have. I got the time scale here too. See, I did. So from what's that? I did the time scale. So from 0 to 1 point.
What's going on?
Why? Wait, is it something I said?
No, it's just.
It's a 10-second delay. You're laughing because everything I'm saying is 10 seconds delayed. Oh my gosh. So anyway, so from the 0 to the 168, the 1618 is the wave 1. And then from the 1618 to the 2618, that's wave 2. And then you skip all the way up to the 4618, it was wave 4. And now we're in this next zone. The 5618 to the 7618, it goes up. And you can see the pattern. The darker one goes down. See, up, down, down in the darker zone, up in the lighter zone, down in the darker zone, up in the lighter zone. That's where we are right now. So I think based on these fibs, that this price action we are currently in, it's going to run out of time somewhere in here. So somewhere around, well, you can see I was very careful with my Gann chart. So the tracker scale, which is what I'm calling this thing, no, it's not right because we're already past that. Well, anyway, about 142,000 and 298,000 before. I know, thank you. Before we finish this blue zone and we get a retracement again, and then the next blue zone will take us basically from, this is like May 17th in 2027, 30 in just 3 years. It's going to go somewhere from 142,000 to $1 million a coin, according to this chart. So there you go. You're welcome. The tracker. It's like the Kardashev scale. Yeah, it's nuts. And the reason why it's got this eye-looking thing.
I like the.
Someone said it looks like an eye because I noticed that they either follow like this lower chart or they follow the high chart. You can sort of see it with a spotting thing. I can ghost feed. I took the August 6th carry trade and I just and it gives us these gray ghost candles. And this is from October 13th, 2022. And when I put it at the bottom of here, it actually follows the bottom hyperbolic wave. So I just was really curious to see, and obviously when you compare the two, the price action for Bitcoin is following the upper one.
I don't know how to follow that. That's yeah. I don't know how to follow that, man. No, thank you.
I'm like the Tim Kazurinsky. Absolutely. I'm Tim Kazurinsky in this SNL sketch where he's the man who's like 10 seconds behind, or 10 seconds ahead of everybody. I can't remember. Anyway, I've counted out. I'm 7 seconds behind you guys.
Yeah, there are a lot of folks that are asking for a refund of their Tracker Internet Fund donation. And,
it's not the internet. It's because I left and came back. I think it's just unsynced. The internet's great. Oh, I didn't get to say, I took your internet fund money and I went to Amazon and I bought this lovely Deco set. It's a mesh network. It's a high-speed mesh network. It's all around my house. It's big enough to handle like 4,000 square feet. My house is like 1,700 square feet. It's great. I've got internet everywhere. The only reason why I figured out now, Matt and I figured out, sometimes my audio will cut out when I'm doing charts and I reload a different chart. And it's probably because of the processor of my laptop isn't quite up to snuff. But once I get my office back on my PC, go ahead.
Okay. Do we need another fundraiser?
No, we're good.
You're going to be the boy.
Thank you guys so much. It was a fantastic fundraiser. It worked out spectacularly.
Awesome.
All right. That's enough of me. You guys go ahead.
Well,
I just got really excited. I have to show you.
We can talk about some individual altcoins that are trying to also break some levels here, or I can do that since I was just looking on my screen just now. And yeah, let's just start with the link right here. I was just looking at that on my screen, and it's also trying to break a level. So I think this is kind of the theme we're seeing with a lot of altcoins, where they're either trying to break like Ichimoku levels, cloud levels, or fib levels. And for Link, it's really trying to break this 50% fib level right now at 1589. So still, there's 5 days left in the week to try to break above. And I think it could be successful. And if so, it could get to the 20s pretty quickly. And another one, too, is Doge. We can see it already broke last week above the 50% again. So this could be establishing maybe a new base in order to continue the journey higher. So Doge looks fantastic here, too. Even ADA, it already broke above some important fib levels last week, but this one, it broke above some important moving averages if we just put on everything else, with one bullish engulfing candle cut right back above the 200-week and the 50-week and the conversion line there too. So The theme of every crypto coin, almost every crypto coin, is that they're breaking above important levels. And if that trend continues, then perhaps they could do something what XLM did. And XLM had a giant 88% weekly candle and straight up to resistance right here, which is the 45-degree angle and the 786, where it's getting rejected. But you can see what it did. It just cut through so many levels with one bullish engulfing candle, even got back on top of the weekly Ichimoku cloud there, which is extremely bullish for this chart. And if XLM can do it, which is a dino corn, and it's pretty prehistoric, right, Cat? Huh?
Oh man,
clawing its way back out of the La Brea tar pits.
Oh man, okay.
It's not just historic; it's prehistoric.
Oh man, you're so gonna be a dad. You're still gonna have like a million.
Looks to me like it wants to go back to the 702 next.
It could, but this is a giant breakout, and if this Dino coin can do it, then so can everything else, right? XRP can be next. It still has battling previous all-time highs. Actually, XRP, if you're looking at this thing right here, you can see that it's still battling the linear scale 886, which is 295. So until it can really definitively clear that, then I don't know if it's going to break into all-time highs just yet, but it's going in the right direction, and that's just the trend. So I think we're going to start seeing more explosions like we saw with XLM, like we saw with HBAR as well.
I've been noticing with these fib runs, if it cannot get over the 886, it might send it all the way back to the 50%. Just warning everybody. But if we get over the 886, then we're good. We're golden for the 141.
Well, that's linear scale, anyways. It's well above for log scale already, so it should be all right. But and here's HBAR too. It had a giant 51% candle, and it's back above my ARC. It's even maintaining the ARC as support, and it's even back inside the cloud too. So it's kind of doing what XRP did as well. So there's lots of amazing developments for almost everything, even AVAX as well. It's getting back above the conversion line again. It has so much room to go to the $25 level just to get back to basically where it was in May. So I just think we could start to see some fireworks happening pretty soon, which is going to be pretty exciting for a lot of altcoins, which kind of proves that maybe the Bitcoin dominance is going to start getting weaker and weaker because all of these have a lot of catching up to do. And it's just the beginning is what I see. Cat.
Yeah, I can show some stuff here. I mean, I just would do the weekly Bollinger Band to kind of show you what the trends are looking through both Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as some of the altcoins that Matt was also looking at earlier. This is Bitcoin. Danny would say that the Bollinger Band is got the crocodile opening his mouth and getting ready to feed. And this is like the nasty tongue that is like pointing up. That's basically tells you that it's a pretty impulsive, yucky, licky kind of bull trend that's being developed here right now. If you look at Bitcoin, it simply just got to the upper Bollinger Band here almost perfectly. It just couldn't push through yet. Decided to come back down and just cool down here, have a little bit of inside candle here. No big deal so far, but this is a pretty bullish look here on the weekly. If you look at Ethereum, it's also got that little crocodile trying to open the mouth here, right? I mean, the tongue is not quite la 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 quite just yet, but it's basically like trying to ask for permission right now and trying to just uppoint here a little bit. It's just kind of like John Turturro as Jesus, in the movie The Big Lebowski, just asking for a little bit of permission right there. And it looks like it wants to continue to expand to the upside. It does look like it has momentum to keep going up. XRP, what is it doing right now? Well, let's see. It's been squeezing here for quite some time, and it looks like it wants to expand, but not quite just yet. It looks like it's a little bit overextended about the upper Bollinger Band here, so you might need to actually kind of cool down here a little bit for it to kind of expand here, but it's been squeezing for a very long time, so it looks like it's maybe getting ready for another move up. Guess what's squeezing right now too? Doge. The weekly Bollinger Band for Doge is squeezing, and guess what? It also reclaimed the 20-week moving average here as well, right? So if it continues to stay above the 20-week moving average, then if it continues to squeeze, then that means that eventually a big move is going to come whenever it ends up expanding, just like what Bitcoin is doing right now. And if you also even look at some other, very similar coin like Shiba, it's doing the same thing, reclaiming the 20, Bollinger Band squeeze here. Pepe, Bollinger Band has already squeezed right now. It looks like it's starting to expand here. Jasmine, squeezing, right? Reclaiming the 20-week moving average. AVAX squeezing, right? Reclaiming the 20-week moving average. Chainlink squeezing hard, reclaiming the 20-week moving average. ADA is squeezing very, very tightly right now. It looks like Charles Hutchinson is basically squeezing his lips on a cigar, getting ready to like just blow out the air right here. It looks like some pretty powerful move is going to happen here. So, I mean, I can keep going on and on. There are just like that. That was a 7-second delay fired. Thank you. XLM probably needs to cool down. I agree with y'all. You know, it's a little bit overextended. It probably can use some cooling down down some of these lower levels before pushing up. But the whole idea is it's either squeezing or it's breaking up. The entire crypto market is either squeezing or is breaking up. So I can't really be that bearish overall. You are going to hit some resistance, just like what Matt was saying. You're gonna hit some weekly Ichimoku cloud resistance. You're gonna have a little bit of a scare here and there. You're gonna have a hard time breaking open the Bollinger Band until it fully expands. But I think overall the trend seems to be pretty decent here, you know. And I do agree that I think Bitcoin dominance is getting a little bit weaker now. I do wonder if the 20-week moving average here is going to hold for Bitcoin dominance. It looks like right now it wants to kind of break down. We'll see how it goes. If it ends up holding, then Bitcoin might end up bouncing against altcoin here a little bit more. But I do think that it's looking weaker and weaker. So we'll see what happens. I do think that Ethereum dominance is looking pretty strong right here because very similar to what Ethereum and what the other altcoins are doing. Reclaim 20, bounce off of 20, Bollinger Band squeeze. Now it's starting to expand and looks like it wants to go up to the upside. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here, and I'm going to stick with it. Back to you guys. Or not. Let's look at other.
Tracker, do you have anything else to add or no?
I could show some charts of the, I don't do all the I can show low, you know, low time frame charts, right? So let's see.
Low time frame.
So here's my XRP chart.
PP.
I still see cat. Oh, there. Thanks. All right. So that was kind of interesting. I put this test back to 279 possible before liftoff, but that was before it did this. So back to this 50. It didn't quite get to the 50%, but ran all the way up this week, and now we're back down here at the 7071 again. Yeah, no, it got over the 889, held the 50. Let's get a little closer here. 16-hour chart. This looks good. I think it does want to get over the 889. This wick down to just is good, and then a solid test back of the 618, building on top of the 7071. Yeah, this XRP looks to me like it's ready to go to 329 and beyond. So yeah, there we go. And then that's just, and then we can do that thing. Let me just quickly turn off all these. I don't want the extensions. I just want from 0 to 1, 3, and why do I have a 1, 2, 1, 2 in here? What? Oh, that's a different chart. All right, so then I can take all of these ones on the right, and I can say, well, what if all this price action from here to here, what if all that is, let's just say just the 299? No, it works. I'm telling you, it's so cool. So I've lined up this whole 0 to 100%. No, I messed it up. It's not quite there. I need to get the stupid. Come here, you. 2929 to 100%. Let's just pretend it's only a third of the way there. So then this one takes us to $4.40. But what we really want is the $8 one, don't we? So let's double it. So we'll say that this is only, gosh, yeah. Well, let's just say I think it's going to $8, right? So here's the 2618, 829 and ish. And so what all this price action that we've so far is just 11. So 315 will be some kind of resistance here. Oh wait, if I on it's the 1168. There we go, right there. So we're working on getting the 1168, which will reject it, send it back to 889 again. But then after that, it should make it to this 236, 387. And then, so basically here's all the major levels to pay for XRP to have to go through to get to $8.28 or $8.29, because I didn't get to try not to take up all the time of the show. There you go. Here's all the price levels that we're going to go through in the next, 6 to 12 months or whatever it takes to get to $8, or 24 months. Who knows? I don't know. I'll have to do a time scale like I did for Bitcoin. That'd be really cool. Here's my Ethereum chart. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm looking to go to, let's see, we do it before. Yeah, the 1618 is 7,706. So I think it's working on that right now. A weekly chart. That's what we need. Oh, here we go. Weekly chart. So I love the comments, by the way. You guys are hilarious. I love you guys are the funniest audience, the bestest audience ever. We don't deserve you, but you're awesome. So yeah, 0 to 100%. Looks like I missed it by just I did this on purpose actually. Here's another thing, Kat. I noticed in a lot of charts when you trust the first wick can just be overblown. Back, that's the we believe in. I've just been noticing, like if you get like these weekly candlesticks, like this is the real one. Here, they try to fool people into buying it again, and they send it back down to the 50%, to the 306, almost to the So you probably already knew that one, but so based on this chart, 7. So to get from here, this will be the last one I do of these. I swear. Let's say from this 306 was a very important level for a very long time. Let's say from this 306 fib to the 1618 up here. And then I don't want it to take up all the space from here to there. Unlock the thing. I've been doing this like all over the place. So there you go. Here's all the major fibs that we'll see between setting for that 702, this 2929 at 3,267 might get sent back to the 236. But the 11.1, the 111, that's done. That one's good. Major resistance really would be the 50% level. So here, follow along with me. We did from here, back to the 111. It's going to go, I'm not sure exactly from here to here, but it's going to hit the 50% level. And then it's going to get sent back to 929. Then whatever it does down here, it'll hang out for a while. Goes to 786, then back to 50%. Then 1.9. I need the 141 back.
Whoa.
Here.
You just have some major. You just had some major catch up here just now. I'm like,
yeah. You just started speaking so fast. It was like,
oh no, I'm so sorry.
So
well, maybe I'm synced now.
I doubt it. Well, don't get everybody's hopes up.
Okay, so but basically it's just what you see here. It's flip to support. The 50% always gets rejected the first time, sends it back to the 299 or even lower. It can go all the way back to the 111 again, but I hope not. But yeah, let's see where Ethereum is from now. For it to the 100% is 143% higher. The 141 is like 10,000. Ethereum 10,000 is sort of the dream, right? Hodlers. Anyway, there you go. This is how we're going to get there. All these fibs. This 786 sends back to the 50%. But then it does get over the 786, goes to the 1168, gets sent back to the 100%. All right, I'm done. Back. It's your show again now.
I'm pretty impressed by the catch up.
Shall we shift gears to some crypto stocks?
We might as well.
Sure, yes. We've got some great ones.
Yeah, well, let's start off with coin since that had a little bit of a reaction today. But when you zoom out like this, it didn't really do anything, did it? It just went down to retest the 886 and got some liquidity below into the 370s again. So this is the linear scale 886, guys, and it's still holding as support. So there's really no change. It broke out. It still is back testing, and it still is holding this 384.17. So Coinbase looks pretty good. Also, MicroStrategy, guys, it's looking pretty interesting here as well, because if you use the same kind of fibs from the 2021 to the 2023 low here, this essentially is maintaining the 3.618 on linear scale as a support now. So that's pretty interesting to see too. So it is looking like it's feeling like it wants to go back a little bit lower and maybe retest a lot lower. But when you go to linear scale, I think it might actually want to try to hold this 440 zone. So that's something to pay attention to for MicroStrategy going forward. Like, this is just showing that maybe there's going to be even more strength in some of these crypto related stocks, even after they had a giant move recently. And let's just continue down the list. We'll see Robinhood as well. We can see Robinhood on my log scale is actually going back inside my arcs. It's not really had any kind of retrace at all. And the bottom of the arc does kind of sit around like 94. The top of the arc, maybe 106. So it is kind of range bound, but it's just a bullish looking stock. And I think it can continue to the top end of the range there, maybe even around like 105, 106, until it's able and ready to break that arc and get more bullish. And the next level does sit up here at 163, which kind of coincides with the 1.272. So I think that'll probably be a minimum target for me for Robinhood that it'll get to. I mean, it could even get higher, 1.414 or even the 1.618 at 400. I think all those levels are achievable for Robinhood because the momentum is there. It's just a very, very bullish and explosive stock. And another one, just like Coin and MSTR, that look like they don't really want to retrace that much. But the things that are kind of retracing a little bit are your Bitcoin miners here, which is like your CLSK. It's a very, very bullish retrace. It's going back down to the 50% level. And in fact, it did touch the blue level exactly at the top, and it came back down. So it did a breakout, got rejected right where it should, and now it's retesting a very important fib level. So you know what? That looks like support to me until proven otherwise for CLSK. We can look at Mara too. We can see Mara just got rejected right where it should with that 45-degree angle right there. And right now it's getting a little bit below that 1955. But with this one, there is still support in this zone, and the 200-week moving average and all of these moving averages, even the conversion lines down there in the 17. So if it did need to go a little bit deeper, that's fine. Like everything with the miners that we're seeing right now is just a big, giant breakout and a back test that's in process right now. Some look like they could go a little bit lower. Some look like they could be stabilizing around current prices. And when we look at iron here, this one is probably one of the most bullish ones right now, as it's not really consolidating. It's not really back testing anything right now. It's just floating in the middle of a range between like the 1935 and the 786 right here, the 1388. So this is looking great, right? They're all looking like they have potential to, yes, maybe go a little bit lower first before higher, but they're breaking out. They're breaking out of levels, and they're back testing important levels on almost all of them, right? And even BT here, we can see it broke out of this 618 zone, the 308, and it just got rejected exactly right where it should. The 427 and the top of the cloud, the bottom of the cloud. So if it needs to go back down to the 308, so be it, right? Just a big breakout back test, previous resistance, flipping to support. And that's essentially how all of them look. And things just look super bullish, still look very, very risk on right now. And I think we'll just see some continuations higher. Cat?
Yeah, what do you think about the wicks for BTPT and for iron with those, a couple of wicks above? What do you think about that? Usually it just says that there's a lot of supply up there,
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of supply. Basically, there's been a lot of supply before in that exact same zone back in July of 2024 for BTBT. So I just think it got overextended and it just needs to cool off a little bit. And that's what it's doing. it had a giant move, really. It had a
Closed down
big
below.
46% candle. Then the next week was 13%. And now it's just consolidating. And even though throughout all this volatility, it's only down 1% for the week. So people need to put that into perspective too, that this is still a very, very bullish chart. And $3 could be the target where it wants to go, but that's even more bullish. And I think for those that miss that opportunity, that could be a new opportunity for accumulation before it really tries to continue the journey higher. So yeah, I just think it's not ready yet. That's all. Not ready yet.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of moving averages underneath below. Do you think that gap gets closed underneath though?
Maybe not. I think it's not necessary.
Yeah,
not necessary at all.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong support zone down below, so it's hard to say. Iron looks great. The only thing is got like the 3 tweet, like the little wicks up above, you know, like that usually gets me a little bit worried about, hey, at least it's going to probably retrace me back to the conversion or something like that, you know, which is for a lot of people going to get real scary. It drops like 20% or something like that. But
yeah.
But
yeah, all of those would be normal. If it went back down to 1388 or a little bit below, that's normal, right? Previous resistance zone flipping to support, that's a healthy development and actually something I would not even mind seeing, because that just makes me even more bullish about continuing higher. Like people freak out that things are just going to collapse when they backtest, but that's far from the truth. It's the most bullish thing that you can have, because without that backtest, it'll still remain overextended and won't have the opportunity to run higher. So it's a very, very bullish thing.
Yeah. I think I can look at the miners from like the weekly Bollinger Band perspectives here too. This is iron. You know, if you open up the Bollinger Band, this looks like one of Danny's favorite setups. This looks like a crocodile is trying to be licky here again. It looks like there's a very, very impulsive bull trend that looks like it wants to keep going, but it just couldn't because it's just waiting for a Bollinger Band to expand. There are these 3 wicks here. Usually I'm looking at these 3 wicks kind of like a little trident like thing. Usually these things are pretty good local tops, local bottoms. So it's showing me some morphology. It's like saying, hey, maybe some retracement, maybe we end up breaking down underneath the weekly Bollinger Band and trying to find some support down below. Who knows? We got a lot of great support down here below the conversion of the base. The conversion is going to keep going up over time. But I just don't know. Looking at Bollinger Band, looks like it's just simply waiting for Bollinger Band to expand. Once it continues to expand, then I think iron has more room to go up. But it's just not expanding quick enough yet. It looks like there is a lot of impulsivity for it to want to keep going. Looking at Clean Spark, it also looks like it's trying to do a little bit of expansion here, but I think Clean Spark's got a little bit more of a Ichimoku resistance here is trying to battle. So there is a potential for it to come back down to like the conversion around $11 or something like that. I think there's always that possibility, but it's expanding. This bull trend over here is now resulting in maybe further bullish here to come. Mara, same thing. Beginning of the week, it was just way outside the upper Bollinger Band. I was like, no, at least you're going to come back down and touch it. That's exactly what it's doing. It's a little bit far away from the weekly Ichimoku cloud there, but like you said, it was also hitting your 45-degree angle. Regardless, it's also expanding its Bollinger Band. It's getting ready for a little bit more bullish price action. Cypher is the same thing. It's waiting for the Bollinger Band here to expand. It's expanding. Wolf, it's expanding here. Is inside. You have these like 2 kind of inside candles over here, but it's expanding, right? Coin's already expanding. It looks like it wants to keep going up higher. I think that originally I was looking at CoinL today. In CoinL today, the weekly candle was like way outside the upper Bollinger Band. Now it just touched it with today's price action with a wick here. So it's no longer that overextended anymore. I actually think today's price action is actually a pretty healthy one, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm not really that scared about today's price action, really. And the thing about it, what I mean by I'm not scared, I'm totally prepared for any potential 20% move down. I'm totally prepared because these are crypto related stocks. These are miners. They do crazy things. They can move 10, 20, 30% in a day, and it would still not change the trend, right? Iron moved from $5 back in April all the way to like $18, all within just a couple of months, right? So retraces back at some point is actually not that unimaginable to do, right? But if it does that, it would be healthy because that would be a higher low. Is it going to do that? Nobody knows, right? Because the trend is your friend and the Bollinger Band is still expanding. Nobody knows the answer to that. I'm worried that there is a little bit of a probability here because you have this kind of like a Triton wick kind of thing, that this is like a little bit of local top, that you're going to end up having some retracement, but it doesn't have to because the Bollinger Band is expanding. I'm not going to bet against the trend, but I do wonder whether or not we end up having a retracement. If it does, I might load up more on iron, down here below at certain support zone down here below if it ends up doing that. But we will see. There's no guarantee. I'm just going to hold. I'm not going to try to sell and try to buy lower and try to be cute about it. So those are my thoughts. Looks like there are a couple of. Should we do a little bit of a lightning round, just kind of get things over with here a little bit? I don't know.
Yeah, we could. Somebody asking for Metaplanet.
Wait,
3350. I'm kind of curious about that.
Sorry, Tracker was gonna say something too.
That's fine. Go do Metaplanet, and then I wanted to show one thing, and then we can do the lightning round.
Yeah, we'll switch to you after that.
Yeah, I've always I was a little bit skeptical about Metaplanet. There are a couple of reasons why that is. The first one is if you look at the Japanese version, there's just 3350, and if you're looking through time from like this peak over here, and you draw like a fit retracement level, you can see that it's hitting a very, very important resistance level here, 0.786. Whenever things went from like 14 all the way up to like 1787, which basically is like over 100x within just a period of 2 years, and it's hitting 0.786. You can also see 0.618 was also a very important fit level, right? 0.32 is also a very important fit level. So we were not really like making these things up. Even 0.5 was big too, if I pull it up. Like 0.5 was big, We are hitting a very, very important resistance level. If you're talking about if it breaks 0.786, then you're talking about breaking this high up here potentially, right? Then this thing can go to like, I don't know, like 86,000 or something like that. Like it's possible. But the problem with doing that, to expect that, is you're hitting a very, very key resistance level. Usually things don't break, even if Metaplanet is bullish, usually things don't break the 0.786 the first try. Usually you end up getting some pretty strong resistance here, and it might retrace all the way back down potentially to 0.618, right? It's possible. Here it got rejected at 0.5, pushed through 0.618, got rejected, came back down, right? It's entirely possible for it to go down, even if Bitcoin goes up, because this thing has been outperforming Bitcoin for a very, very long time, right? And this thing has been outperforming so much that it even came to the US as an over-the-counter stock and grabbed liquidity. It's like almost one of those moves that just makes you wonder, what's going to happen next. Everybody's talking.
I've got a suggestion. Go back to the chart you just had, the same time scale, and then just add a fib, add the 0.7071.
Yeah.
And then look back to the left. I think that might be where it tests back to. And if it loses that, it's going to go all the way to the 50% fib again. But I think that might hold. I think the 0.7071 would be the test back it would hold.
Yeah. I mean,
so of course this is Japanese yen. So it doesn't.
I think it's going to end up getting rejected here. It's going to need to find support down below. I just don't know how far it's going to go. Even when Bitcoin goes up, I think Metaplanet might have a little bit of a harder time to push through based on the Japanese version. Now, if you're looking at the American over-the-counter version, I was a little bit worried about this look over here. It's got a little bit of like a tri-star look to it. It's not exactly doji candles, but they're like this 1, 2, 3 candle over here. Technically, if it's like doji, that would be like perfect tri-star, and typically it'd be like a kind of like a reversal pattern. I'm seeing that pattern looks a little bit weak here. I got a little bit worried. I don't, I mentioned that, and it also it's starting to kind of break underneath the conversion. It's still got a baseline down here around 8.7 or something like that. It could hold, right? And you do have a rising 20-week moving average all the way down here around $6. All of these things can hold, right? But it just looked like you had some momentum shift over here that got me a little bit worried, and looks like it might be starting to kind of play out here a little bit. If you look at the daily, I'm just going to show the Bollinger Band here. What happened is you have a big push up way outside of the daily upper Bollinger Band, and you have a little bit of exhaustion. Eventually, you're trying to fight the 20-day moving average. You're not able to, breaking down, try to get back above wasn't able to hold, and now guess what? You have the lower Bollinger Band. Guess what? The Bollinger Band is expanding. So I I don't know about wanting to be in it. It just seems like, at least from the short term, it's showing some weakness, and they may not be following what Bitcoin's doing because of some of the things I'm seeing here. With that said, I also didn't think that SBET was going to do as good as it did. So take what I say.
SBET is more Ethereum based, anyways.
It is, yeah, it's true, yeah. So, but take what I say with a grain of salt.
The largest holder of Ethereum, I believe.
Yeah, the
largest
holder.
single holder.
Oh, one other confluence with that FIB2 cat on this. If you go to all-time highs, it's also the 618 right here.
Yeah. That's another thing. Yeah, perfect.
So
actually,
it's very mathematical, and look at that. Look at the 50% too. There's so much resistance at that 50%. So yeah, all signs are pointing for a back test, in my opinion. So I would be very careful with Metaplanet. I wouldn't be touching that with my dollars.
Yeah, I just don't see it technically being a good setup, and even also fundamentally, this thing just ran up so fast. It may not follow what Bitcoin does moving forward. So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, SBET, I think I can look at it. Tracker also kind of looked at it earlier.
I didn't just look at it. I bought the hell out of it.
That's man, my internet's sucking. Okay. So SBET it looks bullish here on multiple time frames. The only couple of things is it is entering a gap fill zone, and the gap over here is going to be this candle over here. So the low of that's going to be 30.33. Usually when it closes a gap, that's usually like an area where there's going to be some pretty significant resistance. I don't know if it's going to get rejected here. Nobody knows, because if you look at the daily Bollinger Band, it looks like it's starting to expand. It looks like it's becoming more bullish. So I cannot really say that. And if you also look at a weekly, it did also bounce off the 20 week moving average is pointing up. It does look like it has a lot of impulsivity on the way up. It did bounce perfectly from the cloud. It looks like it does have enough momentum to kind of go up. And you also look at the monthly here. I do think that there's a change of character from this big giant green candle here back in May. Whenever they started announcing they were going to do Ethereum, treasury strategy, it really changed the character, because before that it was just a down stock. There's no hope for it to really change momentum until this big giant green candle, right? And right now we did end up breaking underneath the 20, but we are reclaiming the 20-month moving average. If you look at a little higher time frame on the 2-month here, it still has some resistance here, right? It got rejected here at the upper Bollinger Band perfectly. And you do have the 40-month moving average that's still a little bit downward sloping here. You're getting pretty close to it. I think right now it's like $32.91. So you're still going to have some resistance up here above. It's also like a horizontal zone over here previously, right? So there might be a little bit of confluent zone to be a little bit careful, because this thing did end up running a lot already, and it might end up cooling down here. I still need to see it making a higher high. But until then, it's still a lower high. And until then, you're still going to have, some resistance levels above. But with that said, I don't want to bet against the daily momentum.
Stop right there. This one chart, this one daily chart, whenever a price gaps, it's in a hurry to test some specific level really quickly. And it can't wait for the market to get there. And so this gap up and then gap down, it really tells me that it wants to go somewhere really quickly. And I think there's enough energy in this chart. This one picture right here tells me it wants to go much higher.
Well, it already told you. It already told you they wanted to push up and then go back down to the bottom of the cloud here very quickly, right? Like this is what that told you, right? And then after that, what it wanted to do is it wanted to close this daily gap here very, very quickly, and it did that, right? So what's the next move? If this is going to be a resistance zone up here. I don't know if it ended up pushing up. That's great. I'm happy for it, but like I just get a little bit more cautious whenever it gets to a very important gap. And it could do what you're saying. It could go up a little bit, and it could go down and consolidate sideways, and then push up. I can totally see that too. But this is going to be a resistance zone over here. So anyway, those are just my thoughts. Tracker, go for it. You're gonna show us something.
Let's see. I was going to show you con L divided by MSTX. That's what this. Oh, here it is, right? MSTX. So it looks to me like, if I just turn off, what is it? Shift Option H? No, Shift Control H. No, Control whatever. You can like hide everything with a key press that I forgot. But I mean, that just looks like a bullish W, doesn't it? Like W for winning.
Yeah,
I
it
just
looks
kind of
like a
did
very
this real
good
quick.
setup. Yeah, it's like a double bottom
So
breakout back test is perfect.
it looks
Yeah.
like Connell is set to outperform micro. Just might like that might be enough of a back test right there, but it could want to go here. And I kind of set an alert right here at this 50% level. Like at this point, like you'd want to be in MicroStrategy unless it breaks this trend and gets a new higher high. So for people that are like, oh, asking, oh, should I be in MicroStrategy? Oh, should I be in Connell or on Coinbase? Well, this kind of tells you right here, right? But then once it once it shows support at either this 618, which it's trying to do right now, but if it goes any deeper, it's going to go to the 50% level. And at that pitch, for MicroStrategy back into Coin or Connell or whatever, that's all. That's all this chart says. I just thought that was kind of an interesting to use your idea of dividing one ticker by another. That right? You can pick winners, and not just pick a winner, but pick a moment.
This looks like winners. Yeah. This looks like a beautiful double bottom and breakout of the 0.618 and back test it. Like this, it actually looks like 0.618 is going to hold to me.
Yeah.
It could go down further to 0.5. I think it's possible, but this is actually a really good setup for CoinL to go up higher.
Over the buy candle here is over the 618. Here's your liquidity grab, but it's back over the 618 again. You might be right. Maybe now is the moment you just switch from MicroStrategy to Connell, MSTX to Connell.
Yeah, because if you're capturing, if you're trying to capture the MSTX or MSTR, you might be overperforming a little bit for a little bit period of time, but it looks like if you stick with CoinL, you're going to get more gains over time. So, very cool chart, man.
I did want to share this one thing with thanks. With my MetaPlanet, this is just the U.S. version here from the bottom of 161 to the top of $16. And what it did was this action back to the halfway level. So as long as it stays over 881, I mean, obviously it sounds dumb to say it out loud. As long as it stays over 881, it's only going up, right? So yeah. And now, like, I think I even subdivided this on a different chart. Grab this thing. So you can subdivide everything. So between the 236 and the 382, but I don't want it to go all the way to the left. Let's put it on the right, and then just drag it out a little bit. Well, you can see enough right there. So look, it didn't even touch the 11.11 on the way back to this 23.6. The 286 kind of held it. It did kind of wick below. It's kind of at the 286 right now, I suppose. So either it gets over 947 and can finish moving up to the 382, or if the 286 rejects it 947 tomorrow, then maybe it gets sent back to 1. But if 921 holds back up again, I mean, that's why it sounds dumb, because of course, if it doesn't go lower than a certain thing, it can only go up. But to know these levels, to look for these levels in advance is everything to me anyway. So yeah, and look, the 2618 lines up with the 618 when you do it this way. This 382, 236, and then the fibs, the 2618 lines up with the 618. It's just really beautiful how these fractals can lay into each other as many times as you want. You can just keep subdividing stuff. Anyway, this is my SBET, or I'm sorry, my MetaPlanet chart. As long as it holds this 881, then it will eventually break up and go to the 141. So that's 2196. Or from our prices right now, about 120, nope, about 100, 130% higher. All right, back to you guys. That's all I wanted to show.
What about the, you've been charting BMNR as well, right? Tracker.
Oh, yeah, BMNR. I've got it right here. I've also got a position in this. And same sort of deal. Let's see. I don't have a 50% on this, but I'll bet I could find it somewhere. It basically, oh, this is interesting too. So remember how I said, like, don't trust the first wick So here's the wick I'm trusting right here, this $46 level. And I didn't trust this price action either. I just kind of let it run down through this larger 11.4. If I say the right, or the 11111, and it kind of it did a liquidity grab underneath it, but then it kind of settled back over it. And then I decided to use these wicks right here as my zero. And so then you can see it got over the 382, rejected by the 50% the first time, but then it does hold the 382 right with this candle, and then it runs all the way up to through the 100% to the 1272, comes back 100%, holds, it goes to the 141, then comes back, can't get higher than 1272 again, so that sends it back down. The 786 holds, it runs up, can't get to the 1168, sends it back down. So either holds here and it goes to the 1618 next, or maybe if it gets rejected, test the 1168, 618 here. So I'm kind of wondering, but maybe the 618 is going to have to be a test of this Ichimoku 15-minute baseline. The 15-minute chart. I'm so used to looking at things up so close. I kind of forgot what time scale was on. Larger scale, I see this thing coming to. This is the, get rid of something here. This 236 at 56.79. I've got a bunch of things on here, but it's going to flip. Oh, this 11.4 is what it is. Was resistance, but it should be support later. And I'm looking for targets with BMNR like 98 to test the 382, and if that support, then it goes to the 618. And it goes, there we go. That's it. It's probably like 382, 236, and 618. But I've got a position in BMNR. BMNR. I bought too early. He told me later that BAC was already predicting that I was going to pull back 80%. I wish one of my followers had told me.
BAC.
I wouldn't have bought in so quick, but I've been DC happy position down here with $1. And, all right, back to you guys.
Matt, do you have any charts you want to show? Anything particularly interests you before we maybe show some lightning round here?
No, I don't think there's anything that interests. Like all that excites me right now is like crypto related. So I think all of it. I mean, actually, I guess I could talk about Tesla before I hand it off to you because everybody's freaking out about Tesla again.
Yeah.
So
it's just oscillation.
Yeah. Let me just pull up my chart here. So yeah, I mean, it opened back up inside the cloud on the weekly cloud. It's just getting some liquidity below. Let's just see where it closes the week on Friday, right? That's basically what I want to see. We could even pay attention to the daily chart here and look at what it's doing, right? Why did it get rejected today where it did? Well, not only was it the 702, the 321.32, but it was also the baseline and the top of the cloud. So guess what? Going back down to the conversion line, 305.68 would not matter at all. So when I post on X all the time, this is a bullish chart now. It wants to be more bullish. That's because it does. I think it wants to break this resistance. But a lot of times it doesn't do it on the first try when it's back inside the cloud. So it's just going to go back for a little bit of a retrace and go back up. And it already hit the very bottom of the cloud and it bounced. So it's just range bound. It's exactly inside the cloud in a range. And there's absolutely nothing bearish about this chart. And I think give it some time. I think earnings are next week, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather it show weakness go into earnings than like coming off the gate and go a lot higher. Yeah.
Like this setup actually looks amazing going into earnings because when you zoom out, it's from here. It's just a bunch of higher lows, higher low, higher low, higher low. Like sure, it's not making higher highs right now, but it's also kind of doing like I don't know, one of those triangle things, right? I know Tracker loves the triangles, don't you, Tracker? Yeah, Tracker.
I do love the triangles.
Yeah, it's just doing like one of those triangle things there, and basically just give it some time, and then maybe by next week or something, it'll be ready to go. So I'm not concerned about Tesla at all, and actually, I think it looks like a very, very good setup to have a potential breakout. So a little low at first. I'll be watching 305 tomorrow, but you know what? I'm still watching for a weekly candle close for Tesla inside the cloud, 313. So still got a few more days for that. But yeah, nothing about this chart is bearish. It is looking just fine to me.
All right, let's.
I do see a request for. Go ahead.
You were
Yeah, do the thing. Do your thing.
Yeah, you can
Kat.
just do the lightning round with all
No,
that
you
stuff.
go
All right,
ahead.
let's do lightning round. Let's get over with.
Yeah,
The
lightning
first
round.
one that people have requested for right away is Berkshire Hathaway. So basically, the way I see it is you got 3 months of slump down here. It's on declining volume. I think these things are greatly manipulated. If you look at the daily chart, now it's just been going down in a straight line like that. Like this is very algorithmic selling, and it's doing so in kind of declining volume over here. So I think the lower it gets, the better risk reward ratio you're going to get. It just looks like it's hugely manipulated. It's ridiculous. If you're looking at the weekly, you can see how it's just kind of going straight down for about 3 months now without any remorse or any potential relief. But it's getting closer to the weekly Ichimoku cloud. It's also getting closer to 0.786 here, which you would touch back in April. And it looks like I might want to touch that zone here again to the cloud and also to the 0.786 here around $463. We'll see how it reacts when it gets there. The other thing I also wanted to show too here is it did end up breaking underneath the monthly conversion line over here on the Ichimoku. On the 2 month though, it looks like there's a very, very up sharp pointing kind of conversion line here that potentially could find some support there. We will see, but sometimes it's hard to say that for sure. On the monthly, it did break down underneath of it, so be a little bit more careful. On the monthly, you do have the 20-month moving average right underneath of it, so it could potentially go down a little bit further and touch the 20-month, kind of like it did over here, kind of like it did over here. It might go down. It might as well just get there if it's getting it close, right? So around 450 zone might be somewhere that's interesting area to kind of get into. Do I want to buy something like this? No. I mean, I'm not really interested in Berkshire Hathaway. AMD, somebody asked about what would be like a good entry zone. It's tough, right? You have to tell where potentially is the resistance. And I do have a fib channel here that I have kind of looked at based on these, couple of points over here. You can see how this is actually touching a lot of points, even dating back all the way back to like the 2009, area. It's a pretty decent kind of fib channel over here. So if you look and see what it's doing, it did break above the 0.5, so it's probably going to grabbing up here to the 0.618 would probably be a reasonable zone for it to want to go to. And if you're also looking at the fit level, around 0.618 is also going to be, I guess, around the previous all-time high over here. So around like 160s, 170s, looks like it wants to get up there. It did break above the baseline here on the monthly, which is promising. It did also break above the 20-month moving average here, which is promising. This thing looks like it's got a lot of momentum behind it. And also, if you're into trend line, they'll also break, below this or break above this, bear market trend line over here. So it's got a lot of momentum kind of behind it. I think that it's probably got a little bit more room on the way up here before you find a weekly Ichimoku cloud resistance up here, which is going to be around the 0.618, fib channel level. I think it probably wants to get up there, and it probably end up getting rejected at 0.618 at the top of the cloud. And it probably need to find some support down here below. So how low does it get? Who knows, right? You have the bottom of the cloud, you have the rising Tenkan. All of these things are going to be dynamic. You also have a 20-week moving average, and down and below is going to end up catching up here in a big way. It's hard for me to say exactly where the support zone is going to be. All I'm saying is that I think maybe around like 170 is going to be a pretty strong resistance zone up there. That's what I'm saying for AMD. Next up, somebody asked me about this stock here, which I've charted, and I've also been very, very bullish on the formation that it's doing right now, which I think is a double bottom. And I think that we are forming a very nice bull flag here on declining volume here. It looks like it wants to break up above. Looks like we also want to break up into the immature Ichimoku cloud over here.
Big bottom. Exchange got them.
Yeah, look at that. Little boobies, like your favorite, And it looks like you had a katana here. It ended up breaking down underneath the conversion, but I think it's okay. I think it's basically forming a bull flag on decline volume. It looks like it wants to push through. Whenever it pushes 0.5, a lot of the higher targets could be met up higher. For example, 0.618, 0.786, all of these are going to be levels it can potentially go to once it breaks above, which I think it will based on the formation. It looks like it's a pretty decent setup over here. Vivian was talking about this stock here, BTCS. which I think is also another Ethereum strategy, treasury strategy type stock. It looks like it's very, very much of a beautiful double bottom here with Adam and Eve. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like it's getting rejected here at 0.618 over here. We are also getting rejected more or less at the monthly Ichimoku cloud over here, although it looks like we are breaking in so far. So we're able to stay in for this month. We might end up just closing below 0.618, but stay inside the cloud, maybe kind of going sideways over here, but eventually break the 0.618 and go higher. This thing looks like it's got momentum because it's supporting higher highs and higher lows. It looks like it just wants to kind of keep it over time. If I also just take off that and also do the Bollinger Band, you can see 20-month moving average has been holding extremely well, and the Bollinger Band is also expanding here on the monthly. So this is a pretty bullish stock here. Somebody asked about TEL. I don't know what TEL is, but a lot of people are, I think somebody mentioned that it's been going up a lot higher.
I think it's Telcoin. Telcoin.
Oh, Telcoin? Okay, never mind then.
Telcoin,
haha, just kidding. Telcoin. It's holding the 20-month moving average here perfectly fine. It's doing a little bit of a morning star look to it, where there's a red candle, a doji, and a green candle right off the 20-month moving average. 20-month moving average is pointing up. It looks like it's a very, very beautiful setup. It is still underneath the Tenkan and Kishin order conversion baseline down here, but I do think that this morning star look is probably going to play out. It's probably going to grab it up here to upper Bollinger Band here to 0.008. We'll see what happens after that, how it reacts. I do think that Bollinger Band is expanding. I do think that this thing is trending higher over time. I do think the consolidation over here would be over soon, I believe. If you're also looking at altcoins, let's look at Solana. Somebody asked about that. What I think about Solana, what I have to say about this, it looks like Oscar, I guess. It's just consolidating sideways here for about 15 months doing absolutely nothing. If you look at the FIP levels over here, it's just basically been bouncing from previous all-time high to 0.786. It's basically not really doing a whole heck of a lot. It's just consolidating sideways, waiting for the next move. What's going to be the next move? I think the next move is going to be up together with the rest of the cryptocurrency market. It's also been holding the baseline over here, so now it's just stuck in a range. Top of range is still the conversion up here around like 200. Bottom of range is where we just kind of bounce off around like 150s. It's still stuck, and it's still holding the 20-month moving average. The monthly Bollinger Band is squeezing. I think a bigger move is going to come. As long as you can hold the 20-month moving average, it's probably going to push up, but you're still stuck in range right now, so be a little bit more patient. But I think it's probably going to go up together with the rest of the cryptocurrency market. How high does it go this cycle? It's hard to say. I already made a pretty strong move before. It's consolidating sideways over here. What?
$1 billion.
So some of the targets I can see it hitting maybe like 1,000 or 2,200. I can totally see that happening because it's consolidating sideways over for a while. But let's see what it does first. It has to break above that previous all-time high. I guess this is an altcoin too. Yeah, people always talk about altcoin. I don't know. This one is just it's a major laggard. I don't know what else to say about it. It's trying to break above the 0.5. It's having a hard time doing that. The 20-month moving average is right above. The Tenkan order conversions are above. So you got a lot fewer resistance up here above. I suppose the whole overall cryptocurrency market does well. This is also going to probably do well too. But this one's got more resistance than others on a higher time frame. So, be a little bit more careful. Look at the weekly here. It's also got some resistance up here above, right? The 0.618 and 0.5, depending on where it hits. So you are facing some resistance here. So maybe be a little bit more careful. But on the lower time frame on the weekly, you are having that Bollinger Band expand. Be a little bit of lower time frame momentum. You get the 0.6 and kind of see how it reacts there. But I would be still a little bit, like there are some better ones. I don't know what this is. Somebody asked about PEAQ. Is it dead? It's dead because I can't find it. So I'm going to move on to the next thing. RIOT.
It's also a
crypto. Oh, of course it's a crypto. Of course it's a crypto. All right, let's look at that here. If you just look at the weekly, yeah, it does look kind of a little bit deadish because it's a bear trend into proven otherwise. You do have a little bit of rising 3. Look, I do think that it wants to gravitate up here towards the 20-week moving average here eventually. So you're going to end up having like 20% pump, but you're probably going to get rejected there. It's what I'm favoring. You can also see the conversions kind of pointing down here around the same area, right? So it can pop like 20-30% and probably going to get rejected there is what I'm seeing. It's a pretty good trade though, probably, because you got a little bit of a rising 3 methods kind of thing. We have a green candle and 3 inside red candle, but you got resistance up here. Also same resistance zone as this horizontal level. So it's not dead. It's just going to probably bounce and then stay dead. So RIOT is looking pretty decent, actually. It looks like it's trying to challenge the Ichimoku cloud. Still having a hard time breaking out. Looks like the bullish band's expanding, just like the rest of cryptocurrency. Not cryptocurrency. Looks like the rest of miners, actually. Looks like it's a pretty decent setup here. I do think that is getting close to the same like trend line that has been getting rejected here for a very long time. So you believe that it's going to break this trend line, then a very powerful move is going to come, but it's still not doing that quite just yet. I don't know when it's going to do that. It looks like it could be ready, but you know, it's still hitting resistance zone here. So maybe a little bit more down before up, but I do think that it's probably getting close because this thing's consolidated sideways here for like 2 years. And I do think that overall, this is probably wave 1. This is probably a prolonged wave 2. So wave 3 is going to happen whenever it decides to break above this wedge up here. And again, we're getting a little bit closer to it here again. So we'll see whether or not we'll be able to do that. Poet, this is not a crypto, is it? All right.
No, it's not. You nailed it. This one. Good job.
All right. Looks like a very beautiful, like, little bit of shoulder pattern over here. But inverted head and shoulder. It looks like it wants to break about the 0.618 here this month. If it continues to break about 0.618 here, it's going to go to 0.786. Next, around $12. That's going to be a natural area where it goes to. Does it have enough juice to do that? Maybe. The Bollinger Band's expanding here on the monthly. You're looking at the Ichimoku. You are right at the Ichimoku resistance up here. So I think that's probably going to be the final frontier here around, what is it? So $7.24. Once it breaks $7.24 for good, if you close a month above that, then you're probably going to go to 0.786. And it depends on how it reacts to 0.786. That's going to tell you what's going to happen next. Because that's also going to be a very, very important resistance level. Somebody asked about MP and how it relates to like Apple. I'm guessing it's because of this big giant green dildo over here breaking into the monthly Ichimoku cloud, Bollinger Band expansion here. Like, I don't really have a whole heck of a lot to say about this, except for the fact that just break about the previous all-time high. If you break about the previous all-time high, then some of these higher targets are possible, but not until you break. What's going on? I can't even get rid of the 2. Anyway, I'm a little bit sticky here. A little bit sticky here tonight. So some of these higher targets are possible: $100, $126, $182, but it has to break above the previous all-time high before it gets there. We're at resistance, so be a little bit careful. If it does, great. If not, don't hold your breath. Yes, this is not a crypto. Yay. Okay. It looks like a lot of these like small cap stocks. Looks like back in like November, December, there's a big giant green candle. It's just been consolidating sideways here for more than half a year. It doesn't have enough price history for me to really be able to tell you a whole lot, with the exception that it's still holding 20-month moving average here just fine. The Bollinger Band is kind of expanding here. It's consolidating sideways to kind of cool down this big giant move over here, forming higher highs and higher lows. I think the next move is going to be up. I think it's going to do okay here. It did get rejected here perfectly at 0.786 lock fib here, and it did hold 0.5, so it needs to break 0.618 around $5. If it breaks 0.618 around $5, then it's going to go back to 0.786. See how it goes, and then if it breaks that, then higher highs. But if it doesn't break the 0.618 there, and you're just kind of stuck here for a long time. I don't know what it's going to do next. I think it's going to push up because it's higher high, higher low. I don't know when it's going to happen though. So that's it.
What about Suey?
Oh man. All right. There are some new ones. If you guys want to do, fine. If not, I think we can call it a day.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But Suey is very bullish. I think we should finish with Suey.
Okay. This is a crypto, right?
Yeah.
I do have a GAN here, but I'm gonna get rid of that. Yeah, it looks bullish. I mean, this is basically a bullish engulfing candle. Engulfed the last 2 monthly candle here so far. Look at the Ichimoku reclaiming the conversion. And you look at the 20-month moving average. Looks like its final support here back in April. It also looks like it's going to gravity up to the upper Bollinger Band. Just keep going up. Overall, if you look at a lower time frame here, this is a very, very nice, kind of like a little bit of a cup, maybe a little bit of a deeper handle retracement here. But this is a bullish formation. It looks like it wants to break back above this high over here. Do we have anything here to say that we will? I think so. It came back, grabbed liquidity, tested the Ichimoku cloud. Looks like it wants to keep going up higher. If you're looking at levels, it's a little bit tricky. I mean, I can draw some fib levels, I guess. I think it's trying to challenge a 0.86 here. That's what it looks like. Yeah, it's trying to challenge 0.786 here. It looks like it wants to break out. If it closed a week above that, then I think that this thing would probably end up going higher, above all-time highs. it looks bullish. I don't have anything else to say.
And
Yeah,
with
that's
that said, we'll see you guys. Tracker and I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, good,
That's
good,
right.
good show, guys. Good show.
Oh, thanks
Thank
so much,
you.
guys.
That was
Even with all that trouble Tracker had talking to himself, but
The trouble was
It was fun.
I muted my audio.
Yeah, you muted all of us. You muted
nobody could hear me, so I'll just talk.
I didn't think you would behave like the long investor, Tracker. I thought you were better than that.
Oh my god!
Wow.
But did you do a show with them? I don't know the Long Investor. Do I?
No.
I've seen their stuff on
No,
X, but I
I
can't.
did not do a show with the long investor. No, I don't think that would ever happen.
No. Let's start that rumor. Yes, that was such a great show you did with the TLI there. I gotta watch that replay. That sounds great.
Oh my god! Good times. Oh,
No,
we did have some breaking news. Matt put it up on the screen there, but he didn't get to talk about it.
The breaking news here.
Yeah.
The director and this one right here that the President Trump says 11 representatives who voted against the bill are going to vote in favor. So that could be bullish for tomorrow, but who cares? Nobody cares about the news.
Yeah.
No, but it's nice to read good news.
Yeah,
It's all that fear of the unknown that's terrible.
This is all you need to know. It's a big giant cup and handle here for the outer chart.
Yeah.
It looks like it wants to break out above. Somebody already knew what's going to happen here over a very long time. They've been accumulating for about 2 or 3 years, and it looks like we just have like 8 different inside candles over here. It looks like it wants to break above. But sure, yeah, news, yay!
Put the Bollinger Bands on.
Yeah.
I just want to see something real quick.
You want to see the BBs? Yeah, there are the BBs. Yeah, the BBs.
I was
squeezy.
It looked like a giant, like a cow udder. The bottom of the head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulders, and so now you got legs, and there's the udder and all that. So
yeah,
all the best charts have the udders.
And that's hardly correct.
But
Point
yeah, crypto's pumping, yay, because of news. No, not really. It's been a beautiful setup here for a very long time. So
yeah.
Bitcoin's stuck under the 4-hour Ichimoku conversion line right now, but
oh no, 4-hour Ichimoku convert. No, it's
you'll get there.
Yeah. Do you think that this monthly Bollinger Band is ever going to expand? Like, do you think it's ever going to do that? Boom, 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 expand.
It's going to expand to Uranus.
Ooh.
Woohoo!
Ooh. All right. With that said, let's go back to our respective family here and pretend to be normal folks. And
the tighter the sphincter, the higher the ticker.
I can smell it. I can smell it. Your colonic colossal statements are really getting me very excited. So.
All right, guys. With that, I'll see you guys tomorrow with Tracker. Have a great, lovely night. Bye, guys.
Yep. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Matt. Good night, everybody.